In this video, we are going to look at regular expressions. It is an important tool when you're dealing with text data. It helps us to compactly represent a pattern within a text, and then we can either search or we can replace. So it's important to understand how to represent a pattern in terms of regular expressions. So we will look into some useful notes indicating what are the characters that go into a regular expression, some external tools that helps us practice these regular expressions, and then we'll do predominantly 2 use cases and one a small use case. One is to extract phone numbers and the other one is to extract email IDs, and then finally we'll extract text between 2 delimiters. So this is my setup for my project. So I have a miscellaneous project and I have data, notebooks and images, and within this folder I'm currently running this particular notebook. So the useful note that we need to remember when we are dealing with regular expressions is these characters. So if you place dot, it means anything. If you have a /t, means it's a digit between 0 to 9, and a \t, when you capitalize this one, it represents non-digits, right? And then same thing, this is words. /w represents letters, digits, and also underscore. And non-words, anything other than letters, digits, and underscore. And space is essentially whatever you see when you press a space bar is the space, and these are tab, return, new line, and then all of them together you can represent as \s, which includes space, tab, and /r and /n, and also \S, which represents non-white space. So if you want to represent a series of let's say you want to identify anything that has vowels, then you can represent in this these square brackets. If you want to exclude them, you have to give it this caret symbol and then whatever you want to exclude from the search pattern here. I think these things will become clearer when we are looking at an example. But let's say, disjunction is like when you have one pattern and you have another pattern. If you want to do an OR operation, you can say x pipe y. That way you will get 2 kinds of pattern in the when you're finding them. And similarly you can use XR pipe. So these are some of the things like a /b and /b word boundaries. You can see here as an example, if you are searching for in this text, the cat is in the hat but not in the locate, right? So if you're searching this text, it is not searching cat in locate but only here. That's because we are specifying the word boundary /b and /b, so it starts and ends here. So that's what we are specifying, so that's why it's extracting this one. Another important one is if you have a star means the occurrence can be 0 or more times. If you have a plus, it means the occurrence can be 1 or more, and question mark exactly either 0 occurrence or 1 occurrence. If you just put 1 question mark, if you put 2 question marks, it's 0, 1 or 2, right? So you can put x, m, and it says exactly m instances of x. If you put m comma at least m instances, and if you put m and n, it should be bounded between m and n, and both of them are inclusive. So there are these are all special characters. So if you want to use within a string, you have to use escape character. And within Python there are 2 ways of doing it. We will look into it. One is to use we have to import a module called RE, and compile is you can compile a pattern with flags, or you can directly use RE itself and then call functions to find a pattern and then specify within a given text. So we'll look at both of these, and then you can also do substitute and also do splits, providing the pattern. So is one of the examples, the regular expression may look something like this. So by the end of this video, you will at least understand what these mean, but this is one of the regular expressions. So one of the important tools to use is regex 101 or regexpal, or if you have an atom editor, you can test out your regular expressions and see what is being found. And PyCharm editor is another place where you can choose regex option when you're doing a find. So let's look at this first one, regex 101. So if you go here, so let's say I want to find the first example. We will look at how to solve that one. The first example is identify phone numbers. So I have a text that says in the US phone numbers are specified in this format. So I'm pasting it, and at first let me focus on this particular object. So what is the pattern that we can use? So we can say so if you have like 1 2 3, you can say something like this. These are digits, right? So you can say 0 to 9. This is a digit, and as soon as you put it here, it's highlighting all the places where it has a digit. So then you say plus, so which means it can occur either at least once or more than one, right? So you can see it is identifying all of these numbers. So we can definitely say digit should occur 3 times, right? So right now we are only focusing on 1 2 3 5 5 5 and this 5. So you can say followed by dash, then followed by 0 to 9 digits. It should occur 3 times, followed by 0 to 9, and it should occur 4 times, exactly 4 times. So you can see as I press this one, it identified this one, the one that occurs. So it also shows here. So this is the element that it identified. So let's take this and I'll paste it here, but you can simplify this one. We already know how to represent 0 to 9. We can say slash d, right? And you can say slash d and slash d. So this again, this also identify this. So this is a little bit of a simplification over this one. We are using regular expression. So again, you can see that there is one match, and this okay, so far good. So let's try to see if we can identify this pattern. How do you identify this pattern? Now let's see what we can do here. So in addition to having let me put a dash here, so that everything is similar to this one, except that you have now 2 braces. So what I can do is, okay, let me add a brace here, and instead of doing it here, let's do it here. You can see it is able to identify from 3 to 1 to 5 5. All we did is slightly modify earlier query where we specified slash. The reason why we are using this particular slash is because of it's an escape character. These are special symbols like those that occur in braces. So we are saying that, okay, we are using in our search, so we are specifying by a backslash. So this is how we are able to identify this particular string. Now in this case, we don't have any dash, but we have a space. So how do you accommodate that space? So you can simply say, you can give this one, still identify this, but you can say, okay, I also need to accommodate spaces. So you can see as soon as I give a space here, you are able to identify 2 of these, right? And then let's say so it is able to identify let's say if you want to identify this, so let me copy this, and so this is one pattern. Let me say, how do I identify this? You can say uh, ten digits, right? So you can say 10. See, as soon as you gave this, you are seeing this being selected. So you can say optionally you can have something like +1. You can say +1 followed by this, and this one if you provide star, so it says this +1 should occur either 0 times or once. In these both of these strings, you can see this occurred. In this case there is no +1, so it occurred 0 times. In order to reduce the confusion, we can say 4 to 3. So this is how we can construct this. We can identify these two. So to put them all together, we can simply say take this, then take this. You can put a R symbol, like so A/B/ A, sorry, pipe B, pipe C. If we do this here, then we can identify. Right now this pattern identifies these two. So if you put a pipe, and then let me put this pattern. So as you can see, it was able to identify all of these, right? So you can also you can put a pipe, and we can put here. So this is one way of doing it. There is probably a simpler condensed way, but this is how we can build constructing regular expressions. So let's go back to our Python, and let's look at how to look at this one. So there are two ways of dealing with regular expressions. So you can call regex. You can say, you can give your pattern, and then you can say re.compile, and then on the regex you can say find all and the text that you need. Another way is to say just directly use re, and you can do a static call where you have to specify your pattern first and then your text later. And let's say if you are using regular expression a lot in your program, this is better way. But if you're ad hoc using once in a while, then you can directly call using re dot. So for our phone numbers, we have seen, so this one will identify everything in the braces, and this one is identifies a, so we can actually check what it does. So it identifies this particular string. Actually I can, and the other one identifies rest of the use case. Sorry. So you can see it is able to identify these three patterns, and the other one is able to identify this particular pattern. So here I simply concatenated. I specified what is my pattern 1, and then I looked at what is my pattern 2, and then I did a in a way OR operator between these two and constructed a pattern string. In this case I'm using re.findAll, and then I'm specifying the pattern and then the text that I have here. So you can print the result. When you print the result, this is what is going to see, what is able to find within this text. So in this case we are able to identify all of these. As I said, another way of doing it is you can directly you can construct a regex object, and on the regex object you can do find all, and that's what we did here. So something that you have to notice is when you are there are way you can use find all, you can use match, you can use search. There are different different methods that are, as you can see, specified here to find. So I'm going to show what happens when you are trying to do. So when I say find all with these regular expressions, find all, and then if I'm trying to print, what it did is to construct a tuple like this. The reason why we are seeing these empty spaces is because I have the first pattern P1 is empty, so that's why it's not able to identify anything. So that's why it's specifying it's an empty string. In the second case, it is empty here because it's able to identify the first part, and so on. So this is all good. The other way of looking at it is you can iterate. You can create an iterator object, and you can say match.group. When you say match.group, it exactly identify how it was there in the text. So but maybe we are not really interested in, let's say we want to upload it to a database and we want it to be consistent. So in this case we want to exactly go into the text and extract the way we want. So in this case the way to do it is you have to specify these braces. Like when you specify the braces, it only from the regular expression it will only extract what is within the braces, and in this case I extracted here, and then I'm joining whatever I found in tuple. So you can see I was able to extract these digits. Of course I did a simple join operation on a string, and in fact I use these tuples to extract this particular numbers, and you can directly feed it to your database in a consistent manner. So all of this is converted into this unique format. So another one that we are going to look at is an example of email addresses, and so you can, let's copy email address, this particular text. So this is the text I have. So you can simply know that this is, there is some text followed by @ followed by some text and .com, right? So simply you can say /w, and you can say star @ /w star. Actually you need to put plus because there should be something there, plus, followed by dot, followed by, let's say, w. I can say w 3 times. We can say, okay. So as you can see, it is able to identify some of the, so it's able to identify a example @ example.com, but it failed in these two cases, right? So we need to do a little bit of extension of this pattern. So in this case we are allowing a dot to occur after @. So but where we are specifying this w plus, so we can say here /w, or you can also have a dot and plus. So as you can see, it was able to identify this as well, but this particular example, this third example, example plus, it was not able to identify. That's because /w does not have a plus symbol, so you can say, you can add that. So you can say, if you say plus, now it's able to identify. If you have one more string, let's say email %text.com, if you do this one, it's not able to identify this particular string because there is this character. So if you want to accommodate that, you need to give star. Oh, we don't have at the rate, so that's why it's not at the rate xyz.com. So there is a possibility, actually you need to have at least one word followed by ./w star. Yeah, so now it's able to identify all of the 5 email IDs. So this is a simple example of how to build a regular expression on these particular websites, either regex 101 or regexpal or atom or pycharm. Find with regular expression, all of them can be useful, quite useful. So all I did here for email addresses is I specified the same pattern that we checked, and then when I say regex is equal to read.compile this pattern, this is a pattern, and compile, and then I said find all, and it's able to find all the occurrences of email IDs. So one thing that needs to remember is why there is this R. So this R is a, if you use R and anything, the string that follows this one, it will treat it as raw. For example, if you have backslash, if you have space, or if you have let's say tr, if you specify after R, it will show exactly as it is. Let's do one test and see. For instance, x is equal to, I'll say /t, I know /t, I know all. If you say print x, you can see it is printing this space tab. There is a tab here and there is another tab here. So but instead, if you want to print exactly the occurrence of it, you can just put R here and it will show /t, I know all. So this is the importance of putting an R in front of this string. So as you can see how we built regular expression, this is now probably easy to understand. So you can say you know that the last .com or .in, or sometimes you can have 4 digits. So that's why we are specifying the range is 2 to 4 after dot, and then and these are only digits. The last numbers, the domain names are only digits, but it precedes with a dot. So this particular part is easy to understand. And after at the rate, you at least need to have something like a word and a dot at least once. So that is why it is, we are specifying plus. And same thing, it's a word, but we are also allowing underscore, which is actually part of word, but also percentage, plus, minus, and so on, dash within this text. So that's so hopefully it is clear how this is done. So sometimes you want to extract what is there between two values. For example, I want to capture this particular part, which is in a big text enclosed between this bracket and this bracket. So how do you find that? So you can say R, and you are specifying there is something I'm specifying within this text. That's these brackets and close brackets, open bracket, square bracket, and there is something with text. And if I use this curly braces, it tries to extract whatever is there between those curly braces. So that's exactly what's happening here. So it is extracting capture this string. And note that this is a list, so that's why it's actually did not capture these square brackets, but because it's a list, it is displaying here. So I hope this clarifies how to build a regular expression, and definitely it is important to remember these characters, and also a couple of functions. You have re.compile, and you can also do a search and find iterator. Yeah, so quite useful tool for text processing.